Hi everybody. We are here with the wonderful Stephen Grant, who is has been a client of ours for around I think the last year or so, maybe even a little bit more.
Mm.
Yeah. And we are currently working on the second book, but we're here to talk about the first book, which has just released in the last couple of days. And also just to talk a bit about Stephen's experiences with writing it. Perfect. False Tidings, for anybody that's curious about the book itself, you've got this fantasy world that's effectively based on, would you describe it as medieval?
Very
Is it
much so, yeah.
period Europe?
Yeah.
So we have this sort of wimpy hero, William, who's not really good for much except reading fusty old books. And he sets out on this quest to recover something, a sort of artifact for the king of the land. And doesn't realize that by accepting this quest, he's about to get himself tangled up in all kinds of treachery and
Mhm.
falsehood. So, Steve, when we first connected, what stage were you at with creating the book?
I'd done a draft and a half of the story,
Mhm.
and I just, I was intuitively aware that what I'd written wasn't very well structured,
Mm.
didn't make a lot of sense. Yes, there were lots of humorous moments in it, but there was a lot lacking, and I had no idea how to get past that. You can do so much watching of YouTube and reading blogs and stuff, but it doesn't really percolate in unless somebody reads what you're doing and can see what you're trying to get at. And it just takes that interactivity to
Yeah.
make it happen.
And what were the main kind of issues that you were running into at that time? You said structure was one of them.
I mean, character development. I mean the whole thing really. Yeah, perhaps not style so much. I pride myself on being pretty good in my own language, but
Yeah.
you know, not obviously. I've still got tons to learn in that area, but that wasn't the major problem. My major problem was I just didn't really know where this was going, how
Uh,
it really slotted together. Didn't seem that believable.
hmm.
And I mean, above and beyond that, extreme, fear of what's they call it, imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
I think most of us go through that as writers, certainly in the early stages, and it took probably a year of coaxing me out of it to get to the point where I started to believe, okay, I've written now a draft that actually works, and people latch onto it, and now I can see, the way out of this. But it's been a long road.
Yeah, sure. But it's interesting once you start to go through test readers and when you start to have people actually read the book, and then you begin to realize, hey, I've actually created something here that people do enjoy. I wasn't just fooling myself.
That was the biggest surprise of all. I never expected anybody to like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think it's really common for writers to feel that way until they do have a bit of outside interaction. So what would you say were the most helpful parts of our collaboration?
Well, obviously, I mean, it's another pair of eyes with another perspective and the experience to recognize all the common pitfalls because there was nothing I was doing that was unusually weird or
Yeah.
wrong. It's all standard stuff. You've seen it time and time again. Therefore, you knew what to say and how to convince me. You're annoyingly right most of the time, so kind of having to gradually accept. All right, yeah, okay, Max was right there. Beta feedback has been the same. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, at some point you just have to accept Max knows. The quality and depth of the coaching team, how the hell they track, or you and the others track all these books. I mean, I can talk to you at any point about any character, and you're straight there. You just, oh
Yeah.
yeah, well yeah, that's what this person's weakness is. And like,
Mm.
how do you remember that? But okay, be that as it may. But then there's other benefits to the group. I'm not a natural networker. I don't. I'm quite introverted, and I've connected quite deeply with some of the people on the program. I could call out to Gina and Roe and a few others who've just been fantastic. They become friends.
Yeah.
Uh, I wouldn't have missed out for anything. It's
Yeah.
wanted a writing group, and I've got one.
Because
Yeah,
I see these other people that are posting about your book. Like, hey, I just bought Steve's book. I'm really enjoying it. All of that is really encouraging to see.
mm.
What would you say to somebody who's just starting out? Like they're working on their first book. Maybe they've got a draft, maybe they haven't even finished the draft yet. They're struggling with some similar things, structure or whatever it may be. They're in a bit of a bubble. They're wondering whether it would be a good idea to have some help. What would you say, kind of looking back on your situation?
I mean, you do need to reach out. You do need to find the help. If you want something that's affordable, accessible, you can dip into it, dip out of it as your real life requires, because most people doing this don't have the luxury of full-time writing on their side. So we've all got lives. It's flexible. You can do a bit less one week and more the next. And I like the fact it's not just a structured course. I mean, there's that. It's also this getting over the line mentality, this idea of, we're moving towards a very clear goal here, much as your characters need to be. And you're incredibly focused on what it takes to get to the finish line and get the thing onto, into an agent's hands or onto Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a very valuable single-minded focus.
Appreciate it, Steve. Well, do you want to hold the book up just once again and I'll plug it real quick?
Yeah, it's on a website near you.
Amazing. So for anybody that's curious, would like to pick up this very good looking book, if I may say so. Who did the front cover?
My mother painted the watercolor picture of the castle, and that picture is the first scene, first paragraph of the first chapter, and that's the scene that my protagonist sees, and it's basically somebody doing that.
Yeah, big middle finger of
the castle.
Love it, love it. Perfect. So for anybody that wants to pick this up, I'll put the link to Amazon directly above. So definitely pick it up, leave Steve a review, and I hope you all enjoy William's adventure.
Me too.
Perfect. Thank you, Steve. Cheers.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye-bye.